Hi, I'm Mundo Rocha with Voto Latino. I'm Mr. Garcia. I know that you're running for sheriff. I was just wondering what your thoughts of this year's historic election.
Oh, it is historic from the top of the ticket to the bottom of the ticket. We're either going to have a woman in the White House or we're going to have the country's first African American president to lead this nation. At the same time, as you get lower down the line, we're either going to have a Hispanic U.S. Senator in Texas, or we're going to have the first Hispanic sheriff serving the Harris County community. Never before has a minority ever been elected county-wide in Harris County. And so I'm looking forward to making that history. I'm running for sheriff, and so I'm excited about the turnout, the enthusiasm, the attitude of today's voters, the young people in particular, and the Latinos as well.
I have to ask, as being the first, Latino to be sheriff here in Harris County, I couldn't help notice that, a couple of days ago, it was an attack ad, basically, and could you respond to that?
Well, it was a desperate last-minute attempt to try to salvage a failing campaign on behalf of my opponent. You figure that after being an incumbent for 13 years, he would have a stronger record to run on. But regretfully, he has nothing to run on. He has ethics issues and scandals, issues of wasting taxpayers' money, issues of having deputies follow civil plaintiffs in a civil lawsuit in secret. All the things that you don't need in a modern-day community like Harris County, things you don't need in the 21st century. He knows that I'm winning. He was trying to figure out some way to salvage his campaign and distract the voters from his issues. And so he decided to go to my youth when I was 16 years old, over 30 years ago. And I guess the only relevance to his attack ad to my campaign has been that 31 years ago, before I started my public service career, as I was applying to the Houston Police Department, I was being truthful about my experimenting with marijuana. And so he decided to use that, but it blew back on him. It just exploded in his face. He's had to pull the ad, and as a consequence, people realize that he's got a failed platform. He has nothing to run on but scandal and corruption. And so I'm excited that we are leading the charge to bring modern-day public safety to Harris County, a new attitude, a fresh perspective, new leadership. And it's exciting because the deputies' organizations have endorsed me. Never before have they come together to endorse one candidate, and never before have they ever endorsed against the incumbent. That should speak volumes in it and of itself that they want change. And so the fact that I am Latino, I think that's a little bit of icing on top of the cake.
Well, one more question. Recently, it was in KHOU that just reported that basically, in the sense of asking people of their immigration status, and that the current sheriff was doing it when he was not obviously authorized by commissioner's court. What would be different with, say, Garcia as sheriff?
Well, first of all, I believe in collaboration. I think we should be working with all federal agencies, FBI, DEA, and ICE, but in the most appropriate way. I'm going to evaluate whatever programs are there. I regret that the current administration tried to push through a program without the proper authorization and sign off. But what I look to do, the whole debate on illegal immigration is based on, I believe, on the attacks of September the 11th in New York City. That terrorists were in our country and we needed to do everything possible to find out who they were. Understanding that argument, which I respect, I think the way we need to attack terrorism and immigration that is related to one another is to go after crime. Attack drug trafficking, attack human trafficking, attack identity theft, attack gangs. All the things that the current sheriff is not doing. And I think by virtue of attacking those areas, you cut off the revenue streams to potential domestic or international terrorist organizations, and you work to keep the community safe. And if people in that aspect have questionable immigration status, so be it. But I think you do more harm than good by putting children in fear who have parents that are hardworking and are at potential consequence of being deported over minor violations. I don't think that helps anybody. But I think the best way to attack terrorism that may be correlated with immigration is you attack crime. You aggressively attack crime. I, as sheriff, will be a crime-fighting, will have a crime-fighting organization, crime-fighting administration, and we will continue to collaborate with FBI, DEA, and ICE in those most appropriate areas.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.